Hey, what's up?
Alright, so I'm in the car with Robert Wood, very successful businessman here. He's driving me to see one of his toys. What is the biggest culture difference that you've noticed between people here and East and West Coast?
People in Texas are just way more friendly.
那是在我好朋友 Robert Wood 的一个仓库，他自己的飞机场。This is Pilatus PC-12. How many times have you flown in this already? Alright, so I'm in the car with Robert Wood, very successful businessman here. He's driving me to see one of his toys. Hey, say hi to the client.
Hey, what's up?
Hey Robert, so I got a few questions for you. How many years have you been in this real estate business in West Texas?
Been self-employed building houses since '02.
Since '02?
I've only been a land developer for the last 6 years.
Okay.
But my entire life, since I was 15, I've been in the industry.
Okay. And you're from New Mexico, right? Albuquerque.
Yeah.
But you lived in Lubbock for how many years?
50 years.
Okay. And the growth here that you see is incredible.
It's crazy.
Would you say that?
It's crazy.
Okay. Tell us some stories about how much growth you've seen in the past.
So we're driving right now on past 130th Street,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still paved. And when I moved here, the pavement ended at 82nd Street.
82nd Street.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, and then all of these roads were dirt. There's nothing out here. This is not much out here now still, but you know, there is over here to our east. There's a bunch of houses over there. Slide's a little bit different. And then, but I mean, Lubbock's one of those, when you think about growth, it never doesn't grow. Like it can grow really, really fast, but even when the world slows down, we still grow.
Yes, sir. And so for, you're in this industry for obviously 30 years. And what is your favorite thing about this industry, and what is your least favorite thing about this industry?
Favorite thing about the industry is taking a farm, turning it all the way and watching it be to where somebody moves in to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to fulfill their lifelong dream of home ownership, and that's the American dream, is to own your own home.
Right.
That's my favorite. My least favorite is that the world has become I don't even know the right word, but it's almost impossible to satisfy them for what they expect financially.
Yes.
Get it to that point, because it's gotten so expensive, and the internet and the media and the television has ruined what people's expectations are that a builder can do for them for X number of dollars.
So the affordability is dropping.
Affordability is dropping.
Okay. Now, another question, business question, because I'm Chinese, and I'm fairly new, very new here compared to you. And I still have a lot of background doing business as a Chinese person, as you would say, Chinese Jew. Negotiating and stuff, my partners and I. Now, you've told me some great stories about doing business. Sometimes you gotta be tough. You gotta show people the integrity, right? But also when you run into a very tough client, you gotta be very tough, and you gotta know the tactics.
You gotta hold your ground, yeah. So the customer, their expectations are really, really high. Mm-hmm. And trying to explain to people that what we do is built with hands and human hands, and there's things that go wrong, and they have to trust us to do the right thing at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But you also, if they don't want to pay their bills, you just can't work for them. I mean, mm-hmm. we're out here trying to make a living too, you mm-hmm. know. And our story, one I think you're talking about, somebody just doesn't pay you because they think you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Well, they still have to pay you, or you don't have to come back. I mean, that's your two options.
Right, and you can do that because so in my culture is you try to make your client as happy as possible, which you do the same thing as a developer.
We do too.
But there's boundaries. So from I would say a redneck way, where do you draw the line?
Well, it just depends on the situation. They're all different. So every situation like that is different and is created different. And so, I just draw the boundary lines that, we have contracts in place and we have agreements in place, and you have to do both sides have to do what they're supposed to do. If they don't, you just have to have a conversation and potentially walk away, which you don't ever want to do, but you can. And if you don't want to walk away, then you just have to get walked on, and I'm not willing to get walked on. So.
All right. So one last question. You grew up in the Southwest, Texas, New Mexico. I bet you've traveled to New York, you've traveled to California. What is the biggest culture difference that you've noticed between people here and East and West Coast?
People in Texas are just way more friendly altogether.
Yes, sir. And I'm trying to show this to people on my channel, because they're saying, if you walk into a store sometimes in New York, people won't hold the door for you. People won't hold the door for the people behind them. Right. But here we do things very differently. Absolutely. And hospitality is very different. Would you say that's the biggest difference and something you like most about living in Texas?
Absolutely. Being in Texas is the most friendly, and specifically Lubbock is not the prettiest place in the world to live. We don't have the best views and trees, but we also have the friendliest people, and we have the best business culture.
Yeah, and like now I'm sitting in this truck with Robert Wood, and he picked me up from my house. He actually called me this morning, wanted to take me to lunch, and because he had a couple canceled appointments, he said, well, I have time, I'm gonna show you something. 所以现在是在我好朋友 Robert Wood 的一个仓库，也是他自己的飞机场，这是他的跑道，待会儿给大家看一下他自己的飞机。很多人都说德州是大农村，我不否认这一点，没什么特别好的风景和 view， 不过玩具玩的挺多的，这里富人挺多的。Hey Robert, I like it. So this is Pilatus PC-12, right?
Yeah, did you Google it up? You look it up?
I just heard Pilatus PC-12. I thought you would get the red one. Low profile.
You buy what they got.
How many times have you flown in this already?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. There you go. Thank you, sir. Look at this. So Robert got another question for you. The other day we talked about sitting in this thing and asked you how much it cost. And you said, I never think about it because you're not allowed to enjoy it if you think about the cost. Now, again, Chinese Jew like me will think about the cost all the time.
Yeah.
And that's a big culture difference between Chinese and Americans. I feel like Americans are way more into enjoyment of life. And share some of that with us.
Well,
why do you think that's
about
important?
What it costs to get on Southwest Airlines, and you could use your points, and you could fly somewhere for almost free all the time. Where on this, you get in it, and you can fly from here to Houston in an hour and a half. You don't have to go through security lines. We just walked in there, deal, raise the door, and we fly off. And if you think about what that really costs, you won't ever do it.
Right. But you still do it because it's easy, it's an enjoyment.
It's easy and it's convenient, and I can go to Dallas and back and see my kids and have dinner and come back in one night and never have to be gone and miss work.
Okay. And then, again, going back to my topic, Chinese people always try to save up. All they do, a lot of people that I know, is save up and buy a house, save up, buy another house, but they don't get to enjoy life like what you do. So share with this, which I'm not going to the point where we tell young people to be lavish in their life, because you worked every penny. You told me the story. You came from nothing, and you worked every penny, you own everything now with, from hard work. So share some of this with us, some of our clients trying to build up the wealth. What helped you to get to work?
You have to get to a certain point, and then you can enjoy it. You can't get upside down. You can't buy it and then hope you can pay for it. You don't buy something until you can pay for it. And that's, to me, when you start from zero and work your way up, then you can appreciate it. And you have goals and you set goals. And this was never really a goal of mine. It just kind of came to me through COVID and wanting to go places and having to go through airports and, having to wear a mask in the airport and in the airplane and not even be able to get on it because they didn't have capacity, things like that. Well, I wanted to continue to travel and do what I want to do, so this became an option.
Okay, cool. All right, I like it. Well, Robert, thanks for this. Is that TV back there? What is it? Oh, that's a luxury space. I thought there was a little TV back there.